Hold on to your drinks, gentlemen. We just came
Abrupt
to an abrupt stop.
Abrupt stop.
Good day, good morning, good evening. Hello. How's
Good
that?
afternoon.
Konnichiwa.
And good night.
Aloha.
Konnichiwa. There you go. Bonjour.
No,
No, never buncher.
no.
You have a problem with the French?
Everyone has a problem with
A lot of people have a problem with the French.
Think clearly before you start talking bad about a set of people
An
that may watch
entire
the
demographic.
show.
No, there's nothing
Oh
wrong
my
with the French.
God.
They make delicious cheeses, and their baguettes
and
are
wines.
phenomenal. Actually, their wines are delicious.
Yes.
We just had some
Their
French
wines are
wine.
Yeah, their wines are delicious. Yeah.
I
We
love
had some-
Jason talking
We had
about
some
wines and
pasta
not
the other
drinking.
day. It was delicious with some a red table wine that was from the French region.
Cool.
I don't remember which French region. It was just one of their regions in
The
France.
region.
One of the regions in France, as opposed to regents, which I don't believe France has anymore.
No, not for like 150 years.
Right? It's been some time. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it's been a while.
So this show's going differently already.
Differently?
It's
Different.
no, it's pretty much off the rails, right? So that's
Yeah,
it's the
think
same.
I think
Never
it's
mind,
right
it's
on
the same.
track for us. Yeah, we
right
are.
on track.
Mhm.
And that's, of course, why Jeremy over at Titan Comics supports us.
Ooh,
Is that he-
nice.
Is that he does like
segue.
our off the. Thank you. Is that he
Well,
does
before
like
you
our
go
off the
there,
rails
I just want to
commentary.
say I love some crunch berries, Don. Thank you.
But it's not the kind of crunch
Did it-
berries you think.
You got to get them, bud. You got to get them.
Do the French? Is that a French product? Do the
Mhm.
French manufacture crunch berries? I could have sworn that was of the nautical variety,
I thought that was the Quaker
Um,
guy, right?
given the sea captain on the cover of everything. Or is that different? Is there somebody else on the crunch berry box? Who's on the crunch berries?
I don't know. But
Look.
I can tell you, I know that Jeremy at Titan has nothing to do with crunch berries.
He
Jason,
does
continue.
We
not.
don't.
There's
Look,
also why.
hey, I would say we don't know that for sure, right? So I mean, he may still enjoy a good crunch berry sitting once in a while.
I've
And
not heard of him.
and if that's the case, that would mean that he does have something to do with crunch berries. Not the in the
Yes.
manufacturing sense, but
Captain Crunch. Yes, Captain Crunch is superintending the crunch berries.
he's on the box, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I
he
thought.
is still on the box. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a
Okay,
very,
so that's
very
good.
busy captain.
He is a very busy man.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's off doing Captain Crunch, and he's
Oh my
Crunch
gosh!
berries.
Let's get into the whole thing for Jeremy so we can get into it, Jason. I'm ready. I have been without doing the show, and I saw the last show
I would
where
actually.
Sean
I
was
would-
frozen. Jason, you left Jason to talk, which was bad.
Listen,
Oh,
we don't all
Mortal
have.
Kombat is on the box.
We don't all have the richest internet connection in the world. We can't all be living in a mansion like you, and
Yes.
we can't have our own T1 lines. We just don't all have that
You
capability.
have one.
Unfortunately-
You realize you just jinxed it. At some point, this T1 line is going to be like,
Oh, listen, I'm already looking at my Wi-Fi connection right now, and it's dipping into 2 bars as we speak. I'm gonna
you're hysterical.
at some point, and that's gonna be a problem.
Even though you know what the punchline is, right? Don't step on it, because
Oh.
sometimes it's like a rainbow. You just want to see it happen.
All I know is that at no point in time for any other show going forward do we leave McLean by himself on the
There's
show
nothing
to do this.
Wait, real quick before we say that, did you hear, Jason, about the rainbow who was arrested?
No.
He got
I did
sent to
not.
prison.
Where's Sean's mute button?
Don't worry, it was a light sentence.
It was
Oh
so-
my god!
Actually, I think I saw that one this week.
So
Thank
Jeremy
you.
from Titan. Go check him out. He's on the web,
Yeah,
TitanComics.com.
he does not have prisms. He does not have prisms.
He actually
How do you
does
know
have
that?
prisms, but
He
that's a
does
whole
have
different
prisms.
story.
Well, he does.
There's got to be some comic book out there that's called Prism. There has to be. I know that there's a superhero or a supervillain or two
named Prism. Okay, so then there you go. Yeah, so there are. So find your prisms at.
Find your prisms
Jared.
at Titan Comics. Go visit him at 3128 Forest Lane. Suite 250, Dallas, Texas 75.
Or order from him online, TitanComics.com.
TitanComics.com. All the stuff's in the doobly-doo below. And Robert, you know your uncle. How is that the worst joke ever? When you know your uncle, you spend time with your uncle. That was not the worst joke ever. Well, that was going to be my follow-up question.
Jason,
good behavior.
Jason.
What? Yes, Raymond.
You talked all last show. Shut up for a little bit. And by that, I mean a couple of months.
It's the first time I've talked on this show. What the hell are you talking about?
Deadpool
is
The
the
first time
Loki?
in 4 years I've completed the sentence was last episode. So
No,
Shut
no,
your-
no, I
shut
don't
your trap
think we'll
once
ever
or
get a Deadpool versus Loki. And yes, Genesis ANX is on the box. And while it's not the worst joke ever, Sean, I was very surprised to see you bring a rainbow joke to the table this morning.
Well, I mean, Jason had mentioned the rainbow, and so that just
Skittles, are you tasting
Yeah.
it?
I'm not a big Skittles fan anymore. They have too much the sugary, weirdy, aspartame kind of. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm still much more of a Starburst and or the original Haribo gummy bears kind of person.
Very much so.
yeah,
Very much
I've
so.
never been a Skittles fan. Just too sweet.
They're delicious, but they leave a weird
Aftertaste.
coating aftertaste in your mouth. It's not.
Well, when rainbows
It's
come
not-
from the buttholes of unicorns, I'm pretty sure. Isn't that what Deadpool taught us?
Oh well, yeah, but still, it still sounds magically delicious.
Skittles give me a headache.
Well, when they're thrown at you, I can understand how that might happen.
Don't let anyone throw the bag.
When you're being pelted with Skittles, that could be you could develop a headache.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
I was pelted by Skittles once.
Once.
Maybe a couple times.
Yeah, there you go. I was like, I know I surpassed that for sure by throwing Skittles at you. Gentlemen, we are not going to be talking Suicide Squad this show. We're actually going to wait next show because two things. We want to give people a chance to watch it. Two, we want a chance to watch it as well. I actually did get to see it. That's all I'll say about it. I know Genesis is probably ready to go off, but let me just assure you guys, Genesis hates everything DC. So he was never going to like this movie to begin with. So
it was a wash.
Yeah. Save it for next episode, ANX. Save it for next episode.
But we did get some interesting trailers in the past 2 weeks. More importantly, Jason, you put on a black little tight dress, and all of a sudden you want to sue the mouse Disney. What are you doing, bud? What are you doing?
Class action lawsuit.
Well, actually, I don't think it was a class action lawsuit. That's the one I'm going to bring against them later for continuing to try to ruin my childhood memories by destroying all of these good animated movies and casting live action film.
That's the one I'm talking about. What lawsuit were you referring to?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I thought we were talking about the Scarlett Johansson.
Well, I'm not Scarlett Johansson,
lawsuit.
so yeah, no, that's I was talking about that one.
So for those who have not been in the know for 2 weeks, Scarlett Johansson decided to pull the trigger, her and her attorneys, to sit there and say, hey, wait a tick. We were promised it was, full release at the theaters, and only the theaters. And on top of that, no one ever contacted us to rework a contract, please. You, Jason?
Thank you.
Wait, so that is a stipulation in the contract that it was supposed to be a full theater release.
Yeah.
Full theater release.
No streaming release allowed.
45 days untouched at the theater.
Interesting.
So
because she gets a cut of it. That's that's sort of the idea. Is that she's getting a percentage of the
the theater, obviously the theater release. Yeah. Well, and like every actor typically. I say typically. I don't know if it's typical, but yeah, that makes sense. It's just I didn't realize it was written into the contract. Listen, I haven't paid enough attention to this, mainly because I'm not a multimillionaire and my opinion doesn't matter. So
I don't think it's going to matter to Disney. Disney's kind of come out firing on all cylinders like they always do, and you can definitely tell their studio divisions for Marvel and their attorneys that they have at the corporate level are on 2 different pages, because not only are they coming out swinging, they're calling the lawsuit frivolous. They're saying she's got no merit.
I've seen some defamation, possible defamation going on, and I did see some of that. So
in the past 24 hours, they they said it was just a PR stunt by Scarlett Johansson and her people, and
something about how it was, not immoral, but how dare she?
It's COVID. Why are you taking advantage?
How dare she try to force them to? How heartless of her to not take into account the pandemic, and that kind of made me be like, I was just like, that's what you're going to throw out there. That's you're not going to win that fight. You're not going to win that one.
And when you start off with this is an actual quote. It is obvious that this is a highly orchestrated PR campaign to achieve an outcome that is not obtainable in the lawsuit. The problem is that your contract was not carried out the way it was supposed to. Say what we will about Warner Brothers with how they decided to just throw everything on HBO Max. They realized they came out and did that.
And Genesis will say what he wants to about Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Yes. But they turned around and they went back to each of the actors, the directors. Yeah. They went out to the creative parties and they redid the contracts, right? Mm-hmm. Very quietly, very subtly, and that's why all the talk died down. Gotcha. Disney didn't do it. Disney didn't do it, and now it's not just Scarlett. Now it's also
I
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone with the I saw that. And from a legal standpoint, I mean, and it's a Genesis, to your point, right? I mean, I understand that in theory, you look at it and you say it's an open, and we say, right, not just you. If you look at it and say, okay, from a legal standpoint, this does seem like an open and shut case. Unfortunately, the way the justice system works, even if it appears to be open and shut, there's really no guarantee that it's open and shut. I mean, in the end, I think what's going to happen is we'll probably see a settlement. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be open and shut because they're going to make so many weird arguments about how you could interpret some language or some BS in the contract or whatever opt-out right they had or whatever sort of, Verizon wireless cell phone loophole clause they had written into this damn thing. Yeah. Say they could weasel their way out of this bullshit.
Scarlett, you went over your minutes.
You went over your minutes. Like, come on, right? This movie was budgeted for 207 minutes. You went to 212. We're sorry.
The moment that you went over your 10 gigabytes, we had to downgrade you to a 3G.
That's when we had to drop your. Yeah, that's when we had to drop your stream. We're sorry. It just wasn't. You couldn't keep doing this. So it's not open and shut, unfortunately.
Genesis coming back with I know. It is, and my thing is like because you've got the news in the background that Kevin Feige's furious with this.
And I saw that. Yeah,
he's
furious on behalf of Scarlett Johansson. He's not furious at her for doing this. He's furious on the fact that Disney is.
Taking the stance,
making us think about it.
Yeah. I don't think the argument is going to be whether or not that she should have gone forward with this to kind of get it done. And usually by the point of this, where someone's started making the news round, it's because whatever negotiations were in the background have failed.
They already broke down.
Yeah, and so that's the problem that he has with this. Like, don't air the dirty laundry. Give her. The points that she was going to make off the back end probably would have netted her. They're saying in the stories about $50 million additional on top of whatever her payday was. At least throw out the 30, right? Because it's not. I would base the money off of all the prior solo films adjusted for inflation, and then give her the cutoff of what they thought it would have been. Because this is something that has been done. And was supposed to come out 2 years ago?
Yeah, literally 2 years ago. Yeah.
So that's not what you want to do. And
it was Disney it was Disney's own fault for delaying the release. I mean, we saw Wonder Woman debut. We saw there was more than just Wonder Woman. There was a couple other films that debuted on Disney. Well, not on Disney Plus, but on HBO Max and like straight to streaming services. Disney could have released this.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, that was another one. Yeah, Disney could have released this.
Greatest of all movies to have ever been made.
Had they taken the initiative to renegotiate the contract and release it on Disney Plus a year ago in the middle of the pandemic, how many of us would have been happy to have seen it sitting at home and just been like, "This is." I mean, we would have been fine. We would have been perfectly fine. And I think they could have probably come to some sort of agreement. But the fact that they beleaguered this whole no, we're not going to release it to streaming, and they made us wait this entire time and then released it. I was actually kind of struck by the fact that I saw it available on Disney Plus. I was like, wait a minute, wasn't the whole reason we didn't do this was because Disney was fast to their guns about no, we're not going to do streaming. We're going to make sure we had that theater experience and wait. It just threw me off completely.
And don't get me wrong, the theater experience that we appreciate.
I still do.
I went last
night.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it was a packed theater, so I was a little bit uncomfortable in that sense.
Right. Especially with some of the numbers coming up.
Yeah, and
nowadays.
This is coming from someone who has received the shot, but still, I mean, I love that theater going experience, especially when you got a movie like Dune getting ready to come out, right? Just seeing the trailers for that on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
But Disney should have taken care of their talent, and it was, that's where they still have a lot to go because, well, when you're not even 800-pound, when you're the 1,600-pound gorilla in the room, you expect people to bend to your will, but it's like, you've got a large following right now. Don't upset that apple cart.
Well, but this is a company that isn't paying artists and writers what they're due, and hasn't been for years. Like, that's part of this big lawsuit is a bunch of these authors and artists who did their work. They're like, hey, I haven't been paid. Like, we're talking about people who they're still under contract. Disney's still supposed to be paying them for writing these books, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to do it. They're just straight up, we're not paying you. I mean, this is the same Disney. I mean, let's just be honest here. Like, why are we surprised that they're not trying to screw over ScarJo? I hate that.
What I'm sitting here thinking about is poor Donald, came in watching, ready to watch this and probably thinking, are we really talking about lawsuits today? Like, is that how this is going to go? We're not talking about. We're going to get there. But yeah, it's a touchy subject. I kind of want to see Scarlett win. I would like to see Emma Stone, just because I'm a huge Emma Stone fan. I have no idea why. To me, she's always adorable. But I also want to see her do the same thing and come out victorious, because at what point do we not push back against the conglomerates that have decided they know what's best for their talent and everybody else?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that even that whole argument of pushing back against a conglomerate or a conglomerate, right, or a big corporation, even that argument aside, if you don't live up to the terms of your contract, there's absolute reason for first attempts at behind closed doors agreements and deals and, hey, let's make this right. And if that fails, then there's no reason somebody shouldn't take that forward into litigation. It's crazy to me how stigmatized the idea of someone suing another person has become, based on the fact that anybody can sue anybody over almost anything, and it's those bullshit reasons that have muddied the waters, so to speak, as far as into a legitimate litigation. I think this is legitimate. I don't see any reason why both Scarlett and Emma shouldn't go forward and sue if they're not receiving what was promised to them via their contracts. And the fact that anybody comes up and says, "Oh, well, we want to do this crap all over their parade sort of situation," and say, "Oh, they're just rich," and "Oh, they're just trying to get more money," and "Oh, it's just a PR stunt." Like, no, man. If there's a legit reason for something that's happened, right, that's failed.
How much of a douche do you have to be as the attorney to sit there and call that out?
But it's not. No, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's not just the attorney. It's the public. It's the court of public opinion. Yeah. And public opinion is being swung to in such a way to see this and say, "Oh, we're going to disagree." Now there's the other camp of fans who are obviously, and I'm sorry, Jason, I will let you speak on like right here in a minute.
Not after last week.
There are the people who are going to flock to her side, and there are the people who are going to rally against her. And it's all based on the fact that, people want to say that, like I said, it's this whole, oh, you're just rich and powerful and you're doing this for the money. And why should you? You've already got the $1 million and who cares? And it's da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, look, again, the point is this. It's not a It's not a nasty lawsuit. It's not a frivolous one. There's a contract. If you fail those terms of the contract, well, something's got to give. And it's not just because, like Ray pointed out, that they are a large conglomerate. They own so many things, and they can basically get to a point where, they can kind of do what they want, or almost get away with doing what they want based on a certain amount of money. So that is another factor of it.
I do love the idea of this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that in one way or another actually does control a third of all entertainment.
Well,
it's like how dare
has a hand in at least. Money. Let's say has a hand in.
Has a hand in one between distribution and But my point here was going to push back on your the court of public opinion. What part of this whole conversation that we sort of miss is, do we actually know what the real court of opinion is? Because
we've seen a lot in her favor.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's both. Right, I said it was both. I didn't say it was only one or the other. Or
I know.
Only this one. I said it is both. So I mean,
right? No, I get that.
And then there's people in the middle who just don't give a shit.
Right there.
Yeah,
but
hold on. But my point to that is so much of this is manipulated through fake accounts, right? Like when the whole Ariel thing blew up a couple of years ago, I wrote an article, and it's like all the things that they were cited.
Shut
the hell up, Ray, for 3 seconds?
Shut up, Ray.
I wrote an article.
What I learned was that all the sites that they were referencing in that thing had like 2 people following them. Like it was in like 3 of those accounts looked like they were straight up Disney propaganda. Like it was I'm going to say something mean about Disney so they can point to it and say, see, we're being persecuted by what is clearly a bot account. So that's my whole point.
Clickbait is a thing, and I know some people will get up and scream and shout just so they can get that attention. There is,
I'm not saying Disney's doing it. I won't say Disney officially.
Not this show because we've seen the numbers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
We don't know that the people who are coming against ScarJo are actually even real human beings. So good in terms of manipulation. True. That's the point. Yeah. That's my only point.
It's perceived, right? So perception is reality. Let's put it that way. And if we're seeing news stories of people talking about, because they're always going to go with the most clickbaity headline they possibly can, of Scarlett Johansson sues Disney, or Disney says Scarlett Johansson is insensitive, or all this whatever it is, all they're doing is fueling their ratings. That's what people do. They just put out the most clickbaity BS. No, we don't. I said people.
We don't. Yeah.
We're not.
We don't care. We obviously don't have a huge audience to follow.
Right,
we are who we are.
But still, my point remains, and what my point is that in the public eye, it's made out to be a bigger deal than it really is. And the stigma that surrounds somebody, or the manufactured stigma that surrounds somebody for filing a lawsuit against another corporation, is ridiculous. A bunch of people want to. No, not necessarily you, Andy. The 3 of us. I'm only speaking for us. I can't speak for anybody else. Anybody watching this, y'all are on your own. I speak for these 3 idiots. Since we're all doing this together.
Did we nominate Sean for that, Jason? I don't remember.
No, I mean, hey, you speak for me sometimes too, and that's what I'm saying. We're in this together, right?
And you yell at me for it.
Yeah, we're in this together. Well, because I say it better.
The Supreme Court of us. Like he just assumed that power.
Right. I'm
Disney screwed the pooch with Underdog.
Screwed the pooch. That's a different film. But yeah, it's this crazy thing that people want to like lash out against Scarlett or Emma or anybody filing a lawsuit against a corporation under the guise that they're being petty or whatever. It's like, are you kidding me? The size of this company alone, there's no pettiness there. The pettiness is, just
at the end of the day, what you're seeing are their attorneys being paid to do what they need to do.
What they do best, which is obscure the real point and try to sway public opinion so that they have a better stance in the public eye, that when they pay out way less than what they were supposed to, because they're never going to get that set amount, so it's going to go to a settlement, that they look like heroes for saying, well, okay, we settled for about a third of what we promised her in that contract.
Yeah, and again, it was an unfortunate timing, everything else, and I'm not. to go to the other side of it, let's be honest. It's not like Disney didn't lose money over the past 2 years. I mean, they posted losses for, I think, 6 of the last 8 quarters.
Well, yeah, when you can't afford to pay out your $80,000 bonus. I mean, yeah, that's a loss.
Yeah.
I've just lost my $80,000 bonus. It doesn't mean I still have my $2.2 million paycheck.
Yeah.
But son of a bitch, that weekend boat that I wanted to get for half a year.
Hey,
you know,
that weekend boat's important. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. All right.
I wouldn't know, but I'm just saying the weekend boat's important.
Okay. All right. Sure you would.
I will say that I am falling on the side of Scarlett Johansson on this, just because again, it's a contract. Yes, it is unfortunate, but that's also why you also have insurance for moments like this. Pay out your talent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I have no dog in the fight, other than the fact that I'm with
outside
you,
of Underdog.
Outside of Underdog. I'm with you in the fact that, listen, if we're just talking about this from a standpoint of, you know, facts, Disney had a contract with Scarlett Johansson, and if they violated that contract, they need to fess up. Yes. They need to pay up to it. So, I mean, other than that, I really don't care.
Pretty much. What do we care about?
Trailers.
Trailers came out. We had about 3 major trailers that came out while we were in between weeks there. So you had Y: The Last Man that just came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So let's start there. Fantastic.
That's the letter Y, right?
The letter Y,
not WHY.
That is.
It's not a question.
It's not a question at the moment.
Well, at the moment,
Robert.
At the moment,
officially, that was the worst joke of the show.
It wasn't even a joke.
Yeah. Jason, we got.
I know it wasn't a joke. That's what
I'm saying. It wasn't even a joke. It was nowhere near a joke. Yeah.
So we got to see Y: The Last Man come out, which is the story of every male on the planet dies except for one,
and one monkey.
And one monkey. That's right.
Well, it's not just every. If I recall from the comics, it's been a while since I read the comic. It's not just every male human. It's everything with the Y chromosome dies, right?
It's my understanding that that's a possibility. I don't think it affected all of it, but
is this? Let's be careful with how long we have that up there. I know what you're saying, because I mean, I guess the total amount of time. Is this just like a really dark version of Curious George?
No, it's not. It is absolutely.
I don't know.
Not.
It's not wrong.
It could be. I'll tell you what, though, the guy playing Yorick in this, you know, doing fantastic. And again, we've only seen the trailer, but this looks true to the series. You know, really when this first came out, I was a huge fan of it. I still am a huge fan of it.
All right, cut that off, right? Stop. You got to stop showing that stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get cut off.
Doggone you, Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, stop doing that. I think we've seen enough of that one.
But this is how we have. Thanks a lot, guys. But this is definitely you know, something that I can't wait to see. Right, starting on September 13th on Hulu. But
FX.
if it's any FX on Hulu,
whatever.
So if it's anything like what we've seen in the book, I'm all for it. Right, the storyline, very strong. You know, it's not just about the survival of the one individual. It's about the survival of the species, because you know Y chromosomes are good for something.
Is this another one from the same people who brought you Walking Dead?
No.
Okay.
Actually,
this is a Vertigo series. Jason, am I correct on that? It was a Vertigo series, so that's DC.
Back when Vertigo was sort of DC's imprint, where it would tell other things, but they've rolled all that into their universe now. So
it just has that feeling that they bring to the way you described it, Ray. It has that same feeling that they bring to a series, where it's like, we're going to take this what you would seem to be a cut and dry zombie kind of thing, or a superhero's tale, and instead turn it into, let's look at this aspect of it, because nobody's really made a series about, like, let's look at this father and son aspect of a superhero's development. Let's look at how these people have inner working relationships going through a zombie apocalypse. And then to this one, let's see how these people survive and relate to one another after this horrible thing happens. It's just something that seems to fit that pattern.
Yeah, which is, how do you move forward? So, and then that's always the thing. The book was 100 and it's 5 hardcover volumes, but I think it was about 140 something issues. And they did have a couple years. Yeah, it was a definitive beginning, middle, and end for the series. So it's good to see. I like it when we have those on TV shows. Something that I wish The Walking Dead would have learned about, 6 seasons ago. But it is what it is. So hopefully they can knock this out in 3 years, maybe 5 years tops. Speaking of which, Stranger Things came out with a trailer yesterday as well. It's still a teaser trailer, not much new was shown. Yeah. But one of the things that they are talking about is the fact that this show is going to end sooner rather than later. There was always talk about that was going to be going on a little bit too long, right? And already when you look at Stranger Things, especially this last season, you're hoping they come to a natural conclusion, but that's another one, right? Like you need to have the beginning, middle, and end points.
The natural conclusion was the end of the first season. There was no reason to come back and do another one. No, let me.
Did you not like the second season?
Shut up. Let me say that I did enjoy the second season. Like I still enjoyed it, but you know how I am. I enjoy that sort of completed, incomplete feeling. Because it makes the series always good every single time you watch it, because you're always hungering for more. It's like a cliffhanger, but it's a cliffhanger to an entire series. If it ended with Will just puking up the little slug and the slug climbing around in the drain and him being like, okay, and then he runs back like, hooray, it's Christmas. You're like, oh, something bad's going to happen. But it's like, okay, good. Now you never have to tell me that story. Always curious, just like then the fan fiction starts, and then people start writing their own stories, and it builds it into this other big thing that people can go search online and outside of the norm, and not have to suffer through 7 more seasons of mediocrity. And I enjoy it when they end something like that, when they do it that way.
So and the good news is we're not going to get 7.
Season 2 would have been fine as well if they'd stopped there, but again, how many more times can Will Byers have to deal with this? It's.
Well, season 3 wasn't about him, was it?
Season 3 had him connected to everything, and him going through the PTSD of all of that. And it's just like, I get it. Yes, he was in action and Barb's gone, but come on, like, we're done. End. Turn it off.
Well, it's sort of like the end of Terminator, right? The first Terminator, where the story was told, but it's still a cliffhanger because the storm's coming. Like there's still more story to tell, but they're like, we're not going to touch it until we get, the endless knockoffs.
No. Stop making Stranger Things. No. Bad production company.
Okay, hold on, Donald. I haven't finished off Bad Batch, so I'm not. We can't talk about it today.
I started Bad Batch. Donald's probably like, "Hey, man."
I'm the only one who was watching it until like yesterday.
I need to start watching it. I did. I've been watching Rick and Morty, man. I haven't.
Which is hysterical. Oh my God! I had
never seen any Rick and Morty because I didn't have Hulu. And now that it's on HBO, I can watch it. So I'm getting to watch all these things that I never got to see. But you're absolutely right, Jason. I do want to watch it. I need to see if I can get the wife into watching it though too. She's not big on animated series.
So I'm struggling with Bad Batch. I gotta be honest with you.
I basically dropped out. I still haven't watched the last half of the season. I'm sorry. This is just, it's just not in. It's
not bad. I mean, it's not bad animation by any.
Oh no. Yeah, no. The animation is not the problem.
The storyline's not even bad. I'm like, I appreciate the plot points. Can you make a cartoon go slower than what it should be?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like that
feels like it's all filler. Like I know it's not. I know what they're trying to do with it, but it feels it's so
like more
reductive.
Backstory than anything else.
Yeah,
like we're just saying that.
Here's the problem: the Bad Batch is that joke that came out around Han Solo, where it was the meme of the guy with the helmet who was watching the Han Solo on the Millennium Falcon come in and land on Yavin, and they're like, "This is the next movie background we're gonna get." Where it's like I'm sorry, I like the Bad Batch. I do like the idea of it. I do wish that Hunter had some other design that wasn't straight up Rambo. But it's like there's just a point where you're
oh my god, it is Rambo.
It's just the whole thing is so reductive. Like
down,
I get this
down to the headband. How did I miss that?
You missed that? Like
I missed it, dude. Oh my god,
he's knockoff Rambo.
He's space Rambo.
Star Wars, the whole thing is the Star Wars A-Team. That's what this is.
Yeah.
And so the problem is, it's just okay. The original Clone Wars was so brilliant because you could go anywhere, do anything. It was never you rarely had the same characters, in more than 2 or 3 episodes at a time, right? This is just, it's like this really should have been a much shorter series.
It's like the show.
Yeah, like the show.
Hold on, Jason. How long is the series so far? How long is the series so far? Like, where are you at?
I was midway through whatever it was. I forget how many. I don't know how many episodes it has, but I was midway through.
Because the reason I asked is because I mean you make it sound like it's this really long thing, but everything else I've seen on Disney Plus has been like
it's only like 8 episodes.
It's like 8 to 10 episodes on most of the stuff we see.
Yeah, hold on.
So is it really?
And what's really bad?
And are they? Hold on. And are they? I'm not done yet. Are they half-an-hour episodes or are they 1 hour? Like,
well, the first episode alone was almost like
it was like a movie. It was like
an hour and 20, I think.
Yeah, okay, so the first one's kind of got like this.
Yeah.
Dang, 15.
15.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah, 15 plus the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I'm trying. I'm trying.
Yeah, I think it was. Bounty Lost was the last one I saw. Well,
it's not, and again, it's not that I don't appreciate it for what it is. I just think that to me of the new shows, and granted, I haven't watched the revival of Turner and Hooch or Mighty Ducks, but I feel like this might be the first swing and a miss for Disney Plus. And I know I'm probably in a small category for that with the fans of Star Wars, but that's. I'm trying. I'm trying to watch it. I'm trying to see where it goes. I've already read some of the major plot points, and I don't know. It seems to be dragging. The irony to that statement that I'm going to say is the animated show that I'm actually behind right now, and I can't understand all the hate. I know why the hate's behind it, but I can't understand it. Is the new Masters of the Universe?
I still haven't started that one yet either.
I've never been an E-Man fan, so I don't really care.
Well, you know what? You're in the right company if you start watching this show.
So that's the other thing. Like, I remember seeing some of He-Man when I was growing up, and at a very young age, I was a fan because of how cool it's the old. I get a sword. It turns me into the superhuman, big beefy blonde-haired badass that gets to ride up, a green tiger, saber-toothed tiger. But that faded real fast. You know what I mean? I grew up a little bit. It's just like when I used to like the Hulk when I was a kid, and I only had one emotion with 2 emotions, happiness or anger.
I used to like Lou Ferrigno until I met him.
There you go. So it's like, but I still think the animation, like, it looks good, and I don't see
the
any
animation
reason
looks
not
amazing.
to check out and watch it. Like, I do want to see it, and I've heard good things from other friends, even friends who, like you, Jason, weren't a fan at all from when they were younger, and they were just like, oh, actually, no, this is a really good series.
The hate it gets is because, and I'm not gonna, you can read it online and pull it up. I'm sure it's the first thing that pops. But if you get past that initial shock, you realize there's character development, there's story arcs, there is a really good premise behind what they're doing, and I hate the fact that people are shitting on this just because it's not their Batman.
Hold on.
To go back to our original stuff. So it's, I get it. People, hey, You're gonna hate what you don't like, and that's fine. I mean, I don't think it should be.
If you're going on vacation somewhere, don't be upset that the place you go to doesn't have a pizza joint that stays open till 2 a.m.
Yep.
Just because back where you live, Tony's or Angelo's or whatever down the road stays open till 2 a.m. So after I, come stumbling out of the bar, I'll, have however many drinks I had, I can walk down to Tony's and grab a slice. Look, dude, it just doesn't. There's differences in many different things. Enjoy the difference. That's called variety. It's got to be different. Just because it isn't the same thing from when you were, 5 years old.
Jason, what are you doing?
Yeah, why are you showing Terminator?
What are you doing?
No, keep talking.
What about Terminator?
On this show, Ray flipped the hell out. They killed
and
John
I
Connor
came back on the show like 3 episodes after that.
Years later.
What? It wasn't years later. I said, sorry, I need to relook at that. And I do have a different aspect and outlook for the latest Terminator movie now. Because, again, I understood it. I rewatched it with an open mind and thought, okay. And that's what I wish more people would do. Look, your initial stance on stuff, that can be fine, right? Like, that's how you felt right at that moment. But I do believe people should be given the chance to go back, look at something, and be able to say, you know what, I was wrong. And on the latest Terminator, I was wrong.
Opinions change. It's just like science. When you learn something new, it might change the outcome. And then you can say, hey, something's changed. And then they can say it's different. And then they go, oh, wow. How'd you come to that? Well, we were wrong. We've learned new stuff. Yeah. So something's different. You're like,
and because of that open mindset, I was able to enjoy Masters of the Universe. Thanks for helping me prove my point, Jason.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here. But hold on to a point though. When was the last time you bought a He-Man figure? You Raymond.
Hold on.
Last Thursday.
When was the last time I'd purchased any comic book or anything, period, even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles wise, until this whole Last Ronin thing popped up?
That's a bad example.
Bad example. No, hold on. What I'm saying here is the people who wanted He-Man, the diehard He-Man fans, did not get the He-Man show that they wanted
because it's not their Batman.
Because it's not their Batman, and it goes back to like I said, if I were to watch it, I'd probably appreciate it and enjoy it. Sean will probably appreciate it and enjoy it. You appreciate it and enjoy it because we didn't have the same emotional connection. The same way you flipped out over John Connor dying in Dark Fate or Dark Genesis, whatever the hell it was. And I didn't care because I mean, Terminator is a cool movie. I like it, but like I wasn't overly connected to
I'm not
John
saying
Connor
I don't
story.
Understand the hate. I am saying that I have been able to change my mind and open up an opinion on it that will allow me to enjoy a story for what it is. That's what I'm saying.
You said you don't get the
I don't get the hate that it's to what the extent of it is. It's a show that has no bearing on someone's personal life. Sorry.
That's not necessarily true.
Not necessarily true, but I'm just saying
people are spending $400 on Castle Grayskull.
Dude, remakes. And that's perfectly fine, man. That's perfectly
fine. That's totally not cool. That's totally.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I heard that, I literally yelled at the television. I was like,
because you don't have anything in your house that you overspent for because that's your thing.
Ray,
you got stuff in the background.
Ray, he's drinking out of a QT cup. Come on, man. He's drinking out of a plastic QT cup. Don't start asking.
That's just hygiene. That's got nothing to do with it,
man. They are dishwasher safe, man. But here's the thing.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just telling Ray. I'm telling Ray that he's like, dude, you just should. You're like, tell me that you haven't overspent. And it's like
I chuckle because I've known Jason where he has spent money on something that he's liked that I've looked at and gone, that's useless. Why would you spend that money? I have done that. I continue to do that, probably on like a monthly basis where I waste money on stuff that I just like. Mm-hmm. But again, especially as I get older, I want to start appreciating everything and not just be hung up on my own stuff. There you go.
This is a guitar pedal, and it has an actual velvet It's actually it's a Jimi Hendrix style fuzz pedal, and it's purple.
Genesis, don't call me out on the new Switch.
Yeah. So yeah, it's this is freaking awesome. And I shouldn't have paid as much as I did for this. And to Kim's point, we're nerds and we have it. We spend our shit on. But doesn't mean I'm not going to dog somebody for spending $400 on a plastic Grayskull castle. Like, come on, bro, that's a little excessive.
And I don't even spend
$400 on this.
Exactly.
And this thing does actually make noise.
Actually does something.
It's nice.
It's like, and I get. I'm not dogging them for spending it. I'm just saying they care.
I think we can sum this entire thing up by saying something that is really, really simple. If anything is going to be remade, that's something we adore from our childhood. We should probably give it to Denis Villeneuve, because he's made 2 good things so far, 3 good things so far. He did Blade Runner 2049 justice. He's probably going to do Dune a really nice justice. And we just need to continue to hand him shit and say, take my childhood and continue to make my life magical. Unlike Disney, who continues to ruin it.
To ruin everything they're touching.
All these really great animated movies in the idea of, what would be really fun? Take this super magical sort of romp that is only being able to be done in a cartoon format and put real people to it, because that's going to be stellar. No,
you have one successful thing.
No, Disney. No.
You have one successful thing, and they're going to hold on to it because it makes them money at the end of the day. But to your point,
they need to knock that shit off.
I wanna see Dune. I got to see this commercial, last night in the theater, and just seeing it on the big screen.
Okay,
man, gives you goosebumps.
The side by side was really cool. I love seeing the 2 trailers doing each. That was man, that was great. That was really neat.
Kim bringing logic to the argument. I love it.
Oh God, logic. All right. Which well, I mean, yes, that is a very understanding way to say everybody has their own things. I'm not feeling very understanding right
now. Quoted the show they need to knock this shit.
Yeah. Bad multinational corporation.
Bad multinational $1 million corporations.
What's not bad though is seeing this new Dune.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I hope this is gonna be as good as it appears.
Multiple cast members saying that there is a 4 to 6 hour cut of this. We are going to see a 3-hour cut, I believe is what the runtime is. For this.
It was just shy of 3 hours for 2049 for the Blade Runner film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that was the beta release. So
this looks more like what was in my head too when I read the original books. Like that's what I love. Like this looks.
Indeed, Kim.
Well played.
Indeed. Cheers to you, madam. Yes, this is brilliant.
And when she says I kid, I think of Eminem. I kid.
Yeah. No, absolutely. This is not my most understanding.
That was Triumph, the dog.
I have ridden the mighty moonworm.
I thought about a spinoff. I thought about something they should do for a spinoff on Dune. They should do one called Spice Hunters. And you have people actually going out and hunting the worms and hunting for spice. And it's like it's almost like it's their business. We're the guys who go get the shit done. We're the guys who go find these things. We're the guys who go do this, and the perils
like Deadliest Catch.
Spice. Exactly.
So you want it done in that format too?
No, not necessarily in that format. I want it done really, really well, right? Weird pirate porn. Okay. I mean, that could happen.
All right.
I mean, we could, that could totally. They could do that. Just
no Jack Sparrow.
No Jack Sparrow characters. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, they got to raid that booty.
That's yeah.
Oh, that's the line. Yeah.
Dune's
why is all the worm gone?
Dune's got worms. I know. I think that would be fun. I think that would be pretty cool. Deadliest Catch. I like that. That's interesting.
Oh my
style, that format.
You know what? You know what else came out was the second Venom trailer with Carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. They've sold me my ticket for this. I don't care if it's got no plot or whatever. I'll sit there and watch it just to sit there and watch Carnage and Venom go back and forth at it.
Very interested to see it. I hope it's going to be on par with the first one. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's all we can ever really hope for in a sequel, is that it's going to be at least on the same level,
as good or better.
Yeah, as good or better. And you know, it. The only thing I'm and this is I mean, it's completely insignificant. I'm not sure I'm sold on how he turns into like the animation for how he's turning into Venom, how it's all, or sorry, Carnage, how it is all chaotic versus the way Eddie kind of turns into him. You know what I mean?
Intentional choice, though.
No, I didn't say it wasn't, and I'm not. I am aware of that. I just said I'm not sure I'm sold on the way it looks. It looked a bit goofy to me, a little bit goofy, a little unrealistic. So I hope maybe they're working on that a bit. But it still looks. It still looks. Yeah, it's just a little. It's a little. I don't know. It's a little weird. The way his face. When it hits his face, that's where it kind of gets funky, and I'm like, I'm not sure about that. But no, it looks still looks good. I'm really, really excited to see it.
This scene kind of freaked me out as well.
Careful, like, Ray. We're pushing maximum intensity on the trailers, dude. Stop showing trailers.
I'm gonna do this today, dude. We're all in. We're all in.
No, stop it. That's enough.
No, I mean, you know,
and for everybody asking why am I saying that, it's because when we reach
Facebook
a certain time limit of how many times, like. It's what, 30 seconds? If you hit 30 seconds of showing any total amount of trailers, we get banned from Facebook, and you don't get to watch this again later. So, Ray, stop it.
Hold on. Who in the hell wants to watch this a second time?
No, somebody may have not watched it the first time, and now they get to see it down the line.
So they're coming back later to watch it for the first time. Okay, see, that makes sense. I just can't imagine someone like, man, I don't really need to rewatch that shit.
Jason,
sort of like
you must have been listening to your episode last time. What else came out? There's one more trailer that we're missing, and I went blank on it.
See, Don's gonna go back and watch it a second time.
I do like the fact that they did make it more chaotic, but I understand what you're saying about the face. The face looks
it's not even a gripe. Like, it's not even me saying, hey, this movie's going to suck because one scene shows his face going all weird. So it's just like, it doesn't matter. But it was one little thing where I was like, I feel like they could have done better on that. But I like the chaos of it. I just think that when it hits his face, it's a little wonky. So
well, it almost looks like he's transforming into Carnage versus having Carnage wrap around him or come out of him. Like, because in the comics, it's actually in his blood.
Yeah. No, it does. And you're right. And I remember, I understand the reason they did what they did. It just looks wonky to me. I don't think it's a minor point. I guess I shouldn't have said it. Never mind. Forget I ever said it.
I'm playing off of what you're saying. Is it possible that instead of all right, I'm out.
Kim, are you trying to say we're Donald's kink? Thanks.
Yeah. Damn, now too much in my head. It does look like they're gonna play off of the Maximum Carnage though, where he's got his tongue going into the guard. Like, that looks like he's like that's what they're trying to play off of. Scream is in it. That looks awesome. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play her though, if they explain why she has powers, because she's a mutant in the comics.
Well, hey, they opened up the multiverse, so what does it matter?
But that's what I was gonna say. This is basically still a Sony project, and Sony has the rights to use the mutants. So, unless I'm mistaken,
no, they have the right to use Scream because she appeared in the Spider-Man comics, but they can't call her a mutant. That was actually why they changed and retconned Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Was they were Avengers, so Marvel still had the right for them as Avengers, but they couldn't call them mutants, and they couldn't have Eric Lehnsherr as their father. That was the settlement.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she kind of is, especially during that Maximum Carnage run, Kim.
Yeah.
Where it was, so basically he made, I don't know, his symbiote spun off and created others, and Scream was one of them. And yeah, that was part of the thing, was that was, her as well. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays out in this movie. Hopefully it does. I can't wait for this movie to come out. It's one that I'm going to go see. I'm hoping they don't do any more delays, because to Sean's earlier point, we're seeing a rise in numbers, and I would still like to go out and very much see that. So
I do know that, if you, in theory, if you have your vaccine, you're less likely to get stuff. And I mean, I know that we're still, if you're wearing your mask and being nice and sociable to other folks, right? That's always a good practice, just to be thinking of others. You know what I mean? Even with your vaccine, thinking of others, nothing wrong with that.
Not falling on one side or the other. I think
not falling on one
choice.
Not falling on one side or the other. It's fine. Everybody's got their choice. It's just that just be nice to each other out there, whatever the case may be. Even if you don't agree with somebody else, just be nice. It's easy. It's okay.
Punch them in the face. If they look at you the wrong way,
it's okay to take the Dalton approach and be nice. All right, just be nice. For those of you not catching that was a Roadhouse reference.
Anyway, but I hope we get to go and see this. I can't wait. Again, so. The last trailer that came out like a day after the show last aired was the new Ghostbusters trailer, which again, I can't wait for this. Going back to
after your pirate joke, I don't believe that a bit, Kim. After your comment, not even a joke. Yeah, I don't believe that one bit. I don't believe that one bit.
What do we think about the new Ghostbusters? Because I love it. So when Ghostbusters 2016 came out, and we're going to talk some more about people who hate just for the sake of hating. Everyone who was original fans couldn't stand the fact that we were looking at an all different Ghostbusters team, and they were, for lack of a better term, everyone had the vast majority of the people that were outspoken and hatred for it was because it was an all-female team. Ironically, now
it blows my mind. It still blows my mind that that's the case. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand that anybody hates anything on the basis of race or gender. It just, I don't get it.
So now we have the opposite. Those people who loved it are now coming out against this latest Ghostbusters. Jason, you're on mute, bud. Why?
I don't know.
There you go.
Put me on mute.
I didn't mean to. Sorry. But we now have. Sorry, Kim just threw me off. But yeah, it's, you have the other people now that are coming out that are talking about the fact that they don't like the fact that, why didn't they continue the story from the one in 2016? Why are we getting yet a new one? And, some argument to that, right? Like you went back and forth. I personally would have rather have seen this one come out in 2016, and then maybe we could have got, the female one this year. I don't know, but everything I've seen of the new trailer, I'm all for it, right?
I never watched the 2016 one because it was the same vein of film as, oh, good grief, what was the one? It's not Turner and Hooch, but now that you're thinking Turner and Hooch, that's all. Since you said it earlier, that's all I can think of. The Starsky and Hutch and the 21 Jump Street and all these other.
Right.
Ray, stop showing trailers, dude. Stop it.
Shut up. I know what I'm doing. Shut up. Quit saying that.
Anyway,
Ray, you never know what you're doing, which is why we love you.
When those other movies came out, they're all spoofs on what was a serious franchise. And even though the Ghostbusters was comedic, I still thought Ghostbusters 1 and 2 was they're serious movies.
Yeah, they're serious.
They're serious films. And the way I saw the previews for this film, I looked at it, I was like, okay, great. This is another joking spoof on Ghostbusters. So,
is it though? Like a lot of people were saying that they don't like the fact that this latest trailer didn't have comedy, to your point. Not enough.
I wasn't talking about this one. If you were listening, I was talking about the one from 2016 that I didn't watch. This one I am excited to watch because it is a bit more serious, and it looks like it may still have some comedy, but I don't know.
Which is also still getting grief. But again, from the 2016 fans, right?
It's 2016 fans, yeah. Well, so so can we take a broader point? This goes back to the He-Man point, goes back to here, 2016, all of it. We live in a society where we want everything for us. We want everything our way.
Mm-hmm. Not shaved, Donald.
We no longer have the idea to stop and try to appreciate something for what it is. Now, can you appreciate something for what it is and say, okay, well, here's where it went wrong. These are the problems I had with it. Yeah, you can still do that. The problem is we're not even bothering. We're saying if it's not exactly what I want, the way that I want it, how I want it, then it's absolute garbage trash, and there's nothing. And everyone deserves to get their pinky toe smashed with a hammer. Like there's we are a narcissistic society. That's the problem, right? This is why we can't have nice things anymore. We're all narcissists, and and we're not going to fix it.
Don't say all.
That was rough.
Don't do a broad generalization.
It's always dangerous to do a generalization.
Okay, how about this?
That exact explanation is the exact problem that is, because you painted everything with a broad stroke. Twitter. And that's the problem that we have.
Twitter is because
do you have proof of that? That everyone on Twitter, you gotta be careful with those comments.
The vast majority of folks on Twitter are. Let's say it that way, because people want to say their opinions.
Yeah.
Hi, the three of us on this show.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to hear what they have to say. It's just you got to be able to take it with a grain of salt, right?
No.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to this one. I don't really buy into the general vast hate of either one whatsoever. I know why I didn't care to watch the other one, because even from what I understand, it also wasn't even really as slapstick and goofy as it seemed to me when I watched the trailer.
Having seen it,
the director's cut is, and
having
the only
seen
one I've
both,
seen, which is why I hate the film.
Yeah. Having seen both of them, if you're going to see any of it, watch the theatrical cut. It did cut down a little bit more of the campiness of it,
and that's where I didn't want to see a campy film in the Ghostbusters vein. Kim said it earlier, right? Kim said it just a moment ago, that this one is more of a direct tie to the actual franchise versus the one that we got in 2016, which to me was what would be fun to do? Ghostbusters movie. And someone would say, ooh, what would be really fun to do is if we made our own Ghostbusters movie and turned it into this joking ha 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 sort of thing that we've been doing with all these old films or old TV series, because everybody really likes that.
Which
everybody doesn't really like that.
I don't think it's a slam on Ghostbusters at that point. It's that type of mentality of let's redo it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not a slam on Ghostbusters. It's not a slam on the people who acted in the film either. Like I'm not shitting on anybody in general. I'm just not a fan of that type of movie. It's the same reason. It's the same reason I'm not going to go out and watch some of the other different dramas or different romantic comedies. It's like, depending on the movie, it just might not be my sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how this one was. Is I didn't. Starsky and Hutch was goofy. Didn't like it. I'd never watch it again. I saw it when it came to the video or TV or something. I think it was actually out when we still had. Oh man, did we still have Netflix on mail order at that time?
Netflix was still through mail.
Yeah.
I think we got that as part of our mail order thing. We watched it and we laughed, and I was like, God, these movies are dumb. And then I didn't watch 21 Jump Street because I didn't watch Chips.
It was the same idea.
I'm not watching any of those movies.
So Chips was horrible, but 21 Jump Street. And the reason why it was funny was because they made fun of themselves doing it.
Yes.
They made fun of themselves doing the fact that they were remaking an old show because that's what was selling. In fact, that line was actually in the movie. They're like, I don't know, we're doing this because we got more money.
And that's because the thing. That's what everyone specifically loves. Because for whatever reason, people were like, at the time, they said, wouldn't this be funny if we made a comedy out of this? And my thought was, no, that was never a comedy. Like, it may have had funny moments, but, that was a legit show. That was a drama. That was it's like trying to take Law and Order SVU and turn it into a rom-com. Like, no, stop doing that.
I think when you had it, 21 Jump Street was more of a spoof as opposed to a let's bring it up and let's make it funny. It was them saying, let's do something stupid, and then we're going to call ourselves out for being stupid for doing this. And
well, they did the same thing with, made it funny. What was the show? The beach movie with Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. Baywatch.
Baywatch. Thank you. It's like they did the
21 Jump
Baywatch.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's like Christy loves that movie. I'm like, how? Like, of all the people,
I've never seen it.
Movie,
I still haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. I'm not going to. I'm never going to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I say never. I still haven't seen it. I have no plans to watch it. I might be on a plane somewhere, and it's the one that they're showing on the flight, and there's no way for me to escape it. And the next thing you know,
Sean gets stuck Lost style, and that's the only movie they have to see is Baywatch.
Dude, I would jump out of the plane. It's rough, but it's the same thing that you're talking about, right? It's this. You take something that's quasi serious but has a sense of humor, and then you try. You're basically making a spoof on it.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, the 2016 Ghostbusters feels like almost. We've seen the same thing in comics too. It's like it's all fan fiction instead of taking the property and going a particular way with it. Like I said, I've only seen the director's cut. I will freely admit that there may be the theatrical cut may be radically different. I would have
maybe
a different.
Better.
I just haven't seen it. Maybe better.
Yeah.
All I know is there was at least 4 more dance numbers than I needed in a Ghostbusters movie.
I'm not going to watch it.
In the one that I saw.
I'm not going to watch it. I'm just not going to watch it.
I'm going to sit there and say this. It wasn't horrible. If it's on TV, I'm not as quick to change it as maybe Hellboy. But it's just.
Love
and
Hellboy.
I'm not the only one, by the way, Jason. On that.
I like Hellboy. That's a great.
Zoe's tried watching
movie.
Hellboy. Can't get through the first one. She's fallen asleep through it twice.
Great movie.
Okay.
And I'm mainly talking about the second one because Jason, I will finish that movie one day.
Oh no, the second one he did.
Yeah, the remake. The remake.
The second one what remake?
I'm not talking about the remake. I'm talking about
Hellboy 2. I'm talking about Hellboy 2.
Hellboy 2 is a little too much Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he played way too much into his own stuff. It was like that he made his own tropes. Exactly. He didn't just make a movie. He went, I'm going to do what I do and what people like that I do, and that's how I'm going to do this movie. It's like, dude, come on, you're not even like really doing a good job for the comic book that this may or may not have been based off of.
John, right. I don't know if RNCS is the best reason for living, but we'll take
fan fiction. And that's it. Some fan fiction can be good though. Like there is good fan fiction out there. It can happen. It's just that it's got to be done. It's got to be done tastefully, and tastefully is not
50 Shades of Grey.
That's true. But I was thinking more or less Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson doing Starsky and Hutch. That's not fan fiction. That's awful. I mean, it was a joke. It was sure, it had its moments, and I still quote moments from that movie because a bad movie can have funny moments.
That's true.
It can have. I still
look
say
at this show. This is a terrible show.
Do it. Like I do that all the time. Oh, it's an awful show. I don't know why anybody watches this. I don't know why we're on this show.
I don't watch the show.
Clearly. Did you see the last episode?
Doesn't mean I want to see more shows like that. Last episode was good, Ray. I don't know what you're talking about. We did a great job.
I no. Poor Jason. When you left Jason alone to talk,
you say it like I was taking a break.
For about half the show, you were.
You say it as if I got up and said, "Hey, I got to go take care of something really quick."
It was this.
I'll be right back.
And then like 20 minutes later, I hate this internet.
It wasn't 20 minutes.
Sounded like Christian Bale.
It wasn't 20 minutes. And you know what? Christian Bale made a lot of money off that voice, and it's still going today. So, don't be jealous. 1990s internet connection. Okay?
Man, I just really want the residuals. Back off. That's all.
I'll give you a residual.
I'll bet you will. Yeah, play jobs. Oh my God.
Well played, Genesis.
Genesis, I really do. I thought about this after walking out of that movie last night, and I was like, he just has to stop watching DC flicks. It's not your cup of tea. It's never going to be your cup of tea. You don't like tea.
Move to
coffee. Don't put yourself through that if you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm only gonna watch movies for the most part that I want to go see. I gotta tell you, not looking forward to having to go to the theater to watch Shang-Chi. Even though I want to see it, I don't feel like that. Come on, Disney, throw it on Disney Plus. Why? Let's tick off some more actors and short pay them.
Is that not going on Disney Plus?
Not going on Disney, and neither is Eternals, which is another one. I don't really care that I want to go to the theater for this.
It's funny because Eternals I'd be fine watching on Disney Plus. I'd be like, yeah, sure, let's watch it. Shang-Chi, I do kind of want to see that in the theater because I think it would be on the big screen entertaining.
I'm with Sean on this one, and I'm the one who's looking forward to Eternals. However, after Black Widow, I'm now a little worried about Shang-Chi and the Eternals. Like, I was the one, the entire time I'm like, hell yeah, Shang-Chi, hell yeah, Eternals. This is going to be good. I have faith in Marvel. Then I saw Black Widow, and I'm like, okay, again, I like the movie, but it's fine. But I'm like, oh, now I'm worried about these.
Yeah, because it's going to be the same setup on all of their movies. I'm going to get background story, which, Jason, we talked about before the show. You don't like it in all the movies, but we're going to get background, a fleshed out theory. We're going to hit a high point. The good guy's going to lose a couple of times against the bad guy, and at the end realize that their self-worth and blah, 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 and they're going to be victorious. Show me something different. You know what? You want him. I know.
You just blanket like you. No, you just basically came out of. You held a lecture in film class.
Yeah, I was like,
everybody should have been taking notes.
Did everyone get credit for that?
Because that's just normal.
Y'all reach out to me. I'll sign that.
That'll be on next week's test. Make sure to bring a number 2 pencil, yellow, and your own sharpeners. You're not using mine last time because some jackass ripped it off the wall, and now I can't get the screws to go back in.
And please make sure you have your Scantrons.
Please bring your Scantrons.
You gotta bring your own Scantrons.
Yeah, you just like, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to start making these into musicals?
I want,
so that it's not necessarily like Eternals, the musical. Like,
exactly.
What do you want to do,
musicals follow that argument. I mean, it's like, did you not watch Oklahoma?
Why are you getting Jason riled up, man? He loves.
Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to have this in the Grapes of Wrath sort of like vein of a movie that doesn't really have an ending? It just
what is it? There's only 7 real stories.
On a boob because he's trying to get some sort of nourishment before he dies in the Dust Bowl. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Come on.
Can you also just describe The Last Jedi?
The Last Jedi. And on that note, we can end.
Jason, sign us out.
All I know is, even with all these great movies coming out, I really want to watch Pig, and I really want to watch Green Knight. Like that.
I actually would like to see that. I would.
I do want to go see the Green Knight. Yeah, I do. That looks. I'm all for.
Dev Patel is. I like Dev Patel. He's been in some other shows that I've enjoyed. I want to see him do a good job in this. And I think he's getting good. I think it's getting good ratings. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's good. No, it is. Okay, I forgive him for what he did in Avatar. Anyway, guys, doobly doo below. Go see Jeremy. He puts up with us for who knows why, but he's got your geeky accoutrement.
There it is.
There it goes.
There it is.
He's got all the things you want. He's got your models. He's got your toys. He's got your comics. He's got your graphic novel collected editions. He's got your rare stuff, and he's even got himself sitting there with the witty repartee that he does. So go visit him. Buy shit online. His address is below. It's all good.
And his phone number. Everything.
And his phone number. His phone number. If you want to call him, it'd be like it's 1980s. You're like, what are you wearing? Whatever. It's all good.
Kim probably won't have pirate porn, but you never know. Jeremy's got a lot of stuff.
There's all kinds of stuff
there. She might find
there's some art books. Yeah, there's some art books.
There's some heavy metal stuff in there.
She might find something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's got a much. His manga selection has grown from what it used to be. In fact, where did I put it? Oh, it's over here somewhere.
I love, Sean, how you said let's wrap up and Jason's going to go for another 18 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, go spend money over at Titan Comics. If you want to email us for some reason, yell at us because we suck at our jobs, and we do. It's Vagabond Nerds. We suck on the show. It's vagabondnerds@gmail.com. The website will return eventually. We're working on it right now, but it's just going to have links.
Everybody, be good to each other. Have fun, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Random people.
Bye.
If I push for old lady,